What is your dream role? A role that you would love? You've already done the serial killer, so.
I mean, sitting here beside Luke Cage and Shazam.
Luke Cage.
I mean, everybody at this point wants to be on Marvel. I mean, like, let's just face it. I mean, if you're on Marvel, it's your career is just set for life. I want to be Namor, the submariner.
You can totally do that.
That's my dream role right now. That's the one character I feel like I look like. It's the character that I feel like I can play. It's the Marvel's Aquaman. I have my little shrine in my room of like, that's the role I'm gonna play.
I can see you as that.
Thank you, I hope so. So make sure you guys blog about it online.
Everybody tweet Marvel.
Because there's not many roles for me, guys. I mean, I can't be Captain America. I even auditioned for Thor's henchman. Do you remember I tested for the role. And here's the funny thing, I'm gonna tell you, do you guys know the rapper Exhibit? Okay, so Thor 1, 2, you know his main henchman, the Asian guy in the movie, right? So he wasn't even in the room, guys. I'm telling you, like when you audition for a Marvel feature, you have to have like a password to even get to the script. Like it's all protected, and it's got your name all over it. Like the script has Michael Copon, so if I were to copy that script and put it out, I'm gonna get sued. So everything, you sign an NDA before you even audition, it's crazy. Marvel's got their thing on lock. And I auditioned a bunch of guys, and it came down between me and Exhibit. And I'm in the room with him, and I'm like, wow, we're two different looking people. Like, I just finished Scorpion King at the time, so it was kind of like, you know, I don't know if you know the comics, but the guy's supposed to be like this Viking, you know, dark-haired Viking kind of warrior. And they were either going to go ethnic with him or me. And then when the movie came out, neither of us got it. And that guy, I think it was more for like, I don't know. But anyways, it was just funny. I auditioned for that. But I don't got many options. So when I was doing more research and through the Comic Con, someone mentioned Namor, and I looked them up, and I was like, oh my God, I can play this guy.
You can totally play that.
So I'm really hoping to do that. So.
No, I'm going to go tell the Marvel people.
Yeah, please.
Question.
Hi, I was at Morphicon out in
Los
Angeles. I was out there. They're doing the stops along throughout the next year. They're going to mini Morphicons. I'm just wondering if you're planning on being a part of any of those. And second part, sorry.
No.
Also, what's it like being like at a Morphicon where you've just got like all those crazy fans that are just like obsessed with the shows that you did and stuff like that?
You know, we all love Morphicon. Like, if you guys weren't at Morphicon, like, it's crazy. It's like 25,000 Power Ranger fans. Our panels are huge. When we travel, we have such a cult niche following that most of our panels, I mean, I was in a panel with Austin St. John in New Mexico, and we had 2 people. And he's the original Red Ranger. But it's just, at the end of the day, we've had thousands of people, and we have 2 people. We treat it all the same. We have a cult following, and you guys are there for us till the end, and we love that. Meeting everyone at Morphicon was just, it's always great. I can't wait to see it grow. I think I'm gonna be at the one in Pasadena, Texas with JDF. Him and I have become closer friends, and I'm excited to see what he's doing as a producer on these Morphicon Express shows, because it's better to have separate shows for the Power Rangers. You know, that way because it is such a cult following. I mean, I do One Tree Hill cons too, which are cult following, and same thing, just 6,000 dedicated One Tree Hill fans are at that con. And it's like when I have my panel, like I have pictures of it'll be this whole room just to hear my panel. And it's crazy because they just eat up One Tree Hill. So those like niche cons are getting really popular, which I really like, because it really gives us a focus. What are we talking about here? You know, and at the Morphicons, it gets. I bring all my Power Ranger memorabilia, like my PlayStation game, my toys. You know, what I mean, I got everything just put out there. You see Blake Foster in his blue suit, and you're like, he's still trying to put that on. You know, it's funny because we all, you know, we do that. We only do that at Morphicon or Ranger Stop. I'll be at Ranger Stop in November. And so yeah, it's a little more fun. Because when I'm at these cons, I feel like I have to be like, I kind of spread out, you know, what I've done and talk about various things, not just Power Rangers, you know.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm another Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley.
So I'm ecstatic that you brought up Namor, because I think that's a character that hasn't gotten enough love recently in the comics. I think he'd be a phenomenal fit, and considering the juggernaut that Marvel is now, they can easily pump out that movie, especially if, I'm not saying I want Aquaman to flop, far from it, but I feel like if that does not do well, Marvel can easily fill that vacuum. The one thing I found that Aquaman doesn't do the best is like balancing out the, and of course the movie would probably go into the land dweller versus like the King of Atlantis persona. Do you feel like you could balance out that regal, like royal mentality? Because I know he toes the line between King of Atlantis, and do you feel like you could take a step into both worlds and be able to balance those roles?
Yeah. My 18 years as an actor, I've pretty much, like I said, played superhero all the way to a serial killer to martial artist, cheerleader. I've tried every role because, quite frankly, I want to be a great actor, you know. Even I'm on this show right now, I want to win an Emmy this year on the Bay. So can I portray the character in both realms? Yeah, I think I can. I would have to do a lot more, obviously, preparation for the character, physically and emotionally. But I actually have some friends who are princes of Saudi Arabia who are of royal blood, and I've hung out with them too. So I think there's a funness I would add to the character of royal blood, because I think he would, if I brought what I would bring to the character, would be more of a kind of a fun rebel of royal that's looking for adventure, and he finds this heroic path, but through that, similar to Thor in the first one, but then he matures and he embodies this maturity role of leadership and being a protector. But I also know Namor has a dark side too. So the serial killer side of me, which I tapped into. Well, if you guys watch it, I mean, I joke, but I think you'll see some sides of me that you'll be surprised. I mean, I tapped into my stepdad was very abusive growing up, and he committed suicide when I was like 12. So I grew up in a really dark family growing up. So that role was a very therapeutic role for me. So it's different. If you want to see a different side of me that you've never seen, go watch Killer Holiday. The movie's like, but I think you'll enjoy watching me play this character. It's a different side of me. I'm not saying it's an Oscar winning. I'm just saying it's not Michael Copon that you've seen in anything else, you know. But again, it's not popular, so people don't watch it. So you wouldn't know unless I told you to. You know what I mean?
So even though Time Force was your first project, you had the benefit of having actors around like Vernon Wells and F. Lawrence Albert. Talk about actors from who you learned the most of early in your career. Learned the most from, I should say.
That's a good question. I guess. Trying to think. I think the person that impacted me the most was when I got on One Tree Hill. Paul Johansson. He played the dad of Chad Michael Murray, but he's been in so many things. And Moira Kelly, she was great too. There was just a lot of you don't, unless you work with unless you get on set, you don't get to watch these people do their work, you know. Because prior to One Tree Hill, I only did Power Rangers, and Vernon Wells was pretty decent too. I mean, but even him, he didn't even want to get into acting. I don't know if you know his story, but he like kind of fell into it. But he's still a good actor. He's still a great actor. But I think in terms of like, wow, that guy is good. It was like watching Paul Johansson work, and he's really into like poetry, and he like inspired me on a lot of realms, like in terms of how he approaches his character. Oh, I know who inspired me the most. Efren Ramirez. He played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite. And you may laugh, but this guy, really go look up this guy's career. He is the Spanish Johnny Depp. Like, no, he's so underrated. For him to even play a role like Pedro, but if you watch him in so many other movies, he was in Crank, he was in all these other movies. His protocol and like how he approaches film is just genius. Like, that guy works. I walked into his dressing room and he had like this diagram, like timeline of his character mapped out like it was a crime investigation scene in his trailer. And I was like, what is this, dude? He's like, oh, this is my character. And he's just that dude that like if he likes someone, he'll give someone, we used to wear all these bracelets. And if he connected with you, he'd give you a bracelet, kind of like a gypsy, you know? And he's just so unique, man. I just love him. And he turned me on to my acting coach, teacher, Laura Henry, who James Gandolfini thanked when he won his Emmy, and Heath Ledger also thanked when he won his Oscar. So, Laura Henry, she pretty much changed my life as an actor. She teaches Meisner, and just her way of teaching it is just so different. And that's who he learned from. And so yeah, I would say that he's the person that inspired me the most. And I worked with him on a movie called All You've Got, which was with Sierra, the singer, and Adrienne Bailon. She was in Cheetah Girls, and I played like a Latino singer, and the movie's about volleyball. I think I did it in 2005, 2006.
So, what role, if there's any role that's done it, what role has affected your personality?
The Killer Holiday.
In what way?
It made me have a temper now, like. Okay, so a role like that, you have to like, for me, I stayed in a Motel 6 on purpose with no lights, only candles for like 3 months. I'm not really a method actor, but I felt like it helped keep me in a darker zone. And when you're playing a character like that, like similar to like Heath Ledger's Joker, or I read articles that he had trouble sleeping. That affected me too. When you're mentally thinking that evil and negatively daily, and you'll see me emotional through the film, and I'm just there, and I'm crying, and I'm crazy, and I'm like weird, and like when you're mentally there and it's real, like it affects your psyche. So like even at night, I'll wake up and have nightmares, and afterwards I developed like a quick temper with things that I didn't agree with. I've had to learn to downscale that, but because of that movie, I was having that temper ready to explode for the scene. Because like as a Meisner actor, you want to live truthfully in the moment, so you're waiting for that other actor to just do something to make you snap and like get into that scene, and where you're like and you're giving your full emotion into that moment. So that would kind of transcend into my real life as well, so I didn't have to afterwards pull that back. But good thing, I do suggest people to write an essay of who they are before they dive into a character, all the way down to the food you like and the things that you do daily. So that way when you're done playing a character, you kind of reread that and you're like, okay, Because I mean, sometimes in characters you can get a little lost because you develop habits. You know, like I was telling him, I have this habit of doing this thing with my eyebrow all the time, and it's because when I played the young version of The Rock, I was learning The Rock's mannerisms so much in his eyebrow thing that now I just do it in photo shoot. It's like a tick now. I'm in a scene that doesn't require me to do that, but I'm always like this, and the director's like, Mike, your eyebrow is doing that thing again. And I just do that. And it's annoying. And there's things like that you can't, it's hard to get rid of. So, yeah.
What is your favorite character you've played?
Favorite character? For me, it was Scorpion King. Only because it was the first time I got to lead a film. Like when you're on a movie, guys, and you're #1 on the call sheet, that's really big. It means you kind of like made it. Like, you know what I mean? In Hollywood, it's like, ooh, he's #1 on the call sheet, you know? It's a big deal, meaning like you drive the movie, and I'm above Randy Couture on the call sheet. So #1 is usually the guy who's getting paid the most. He's the guy that, you know, he's the guy that's everyone's here for. And for me, that was my moment was Scorpion King. And, you know, I'm leading a film from A to Z. I'm portraying a character that's already been made, an actor who's pretty well known. So I have a lot of shoes to fill. We're in South Africa. You know, it's beautiful. For 6 months, I'm just riding horses through the mountains and stopping at various vineyards and trying different wine. You know, that was like my preparation, I think, for the first month. They had the main guys, well, we had to learn how to ride bareback. So that was a fun role for me. I got to use my influence of Power Rangers, my martial arts training, and fight choreography into the movie. So I did all my own stunts on this. I even sprained my ankles so bad doing a scene that they had to create a boot and a splint for me the rest of the movie. So half the movie I filmed with an insanely sprained ankle, kind of like the Jackie Chan situation. But yeah, me jumping off the 2-story buildings into the pile of foam. I'd have to do a whole scene where I'm acting, and I'm like, that whole scene where I'm saving my brother, and I'm like, out the window, we're doing that whole scene, and then I jump out the window into this 2-story drop into this foam pit. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's probably my favorite scene, my favorite character, I would say. But I would say the most memorable cast is my Power Ranger cast. We always say that. To this day, me and Jason are still friends. Me and Aaron are still friends. Debbie and Kevin as well. If you guys notice, I just went to Kevin's. He has a restaurant in LA now. Oh, it's a little Japanese Korean barbecue cuisine. It's called Jesse Boy. It's really good. We're all family, and I think it's because it was all of our first real thing. But we're also the only cast out of all those seasons that really stuck together. So if you were at Morphicon, you notice we were the only cast that had all 6 Rangers and all bad guys. We had Rancic Nadira, Frax, what's the frog's name? Dang, I feel bad everyone for Groove. Gluto. Anyways, we had the whole, and Circuit, or robot, the voiceover of Circuit. So we had all our bad guys, so we had the whole row at Morphicon. And to find out, as you guys know as fans, we were the only season that was Emmy nominated other than the original, and we were the only season that was possibly going to go another season and have a film scheduled that wasn't a TV episode turned into film. We actually had a film that was supposed to be planned, and then something happened and it just didn't work out. So it was a big year for us. If they asked us all to come back, we all say we would.
Okay, well, we are actually out of time, so please go and visit Michael at his booth and pictures and autographs, and let's give him a huge round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. If you want to keep up with me, I'm on Instagram, just Michael Copon. It's like coupon without the U. All right.